Hey everybody, it's Tina here at Heal Universal with part 4 of Create Don't Hate. I just wanted to thank everyone that's been watching my videos and sharing and following these last 3 days. This is day 4 um, of this campaign to start bringing peace among men. As we continue through this situation that we're in, we all created this situation and we all have the ability to change it if we just stand together as the human race, all together as one, and say no more of this behavior. Why is this behavior even allowed? You know, we've been allowing this for way too long, so we're reaping what we sowed, in a way, right? Because we didn't do something more. We didn't make better laws sooner about governing the police departments. And it's on our government's head to change that. And they have not done so. Our government does all of this inflammatory things and segregating and all those things that they do that to keep us under control so we don't unite. And we're supposed to be the United States. It's we the people, remember? So I'm asking tonight, everybody, cops, I don't care, cops, disenfranchised people, African Americans, Hispanics, Asians, white people, everybody, every race, every walk, every creed, every religion, to stand down and stand together. And stand together in a place of peace and ask that this no longer be allowed. And join hands in the face of this and say, you know what? I love you, you love me. We no longer want to hate each other anymore. And so let's find a better way. Let's create it. Let's create a better foundation for our children, a better foundation for our grandchildren. Because we don't want this to continue. Nobody does. None of us want this. This is not something we want. This is something that had to happen to create change, and it shouldn't had to go this far to create a change that should have been worked on all along. So let's implore our government, all of us. Let's implore them to revamp all the training programs for the police departments. Revamp and get rid of the police officers who think they're above the law. Let's do the things that we need to do in that way, and let's make sure that we do it right. And make sure that we don't hurt each other in the process, because we don't want to hurt each other. We just want this to change. And we don't want any more people to die. We don't want anyone to die. That's the reason that we're protesting, right? That's the reason that we're out there saying no more. Because it's not fair that any human being should die at the hands of a police officer. And it happens more to our minorities than anyone else, and it's not fair to them. And it's never been fair to them, and this needs to change. And, you know, I can't pretend to tell you what it's like to be someone like that, in that situation. I can tell you what it's like to live with people who live in that situation, and people close to me who have lost, you know, loved ones at the hands of police officers for no good reason. So it is close to my heart, and I have seen it firsthand, and so that's why I stand together, united with the protesters tonight in that fight. I do not stand together with the violence, as I never will, because it's not who I am. But I do understand it. I do understand the reason why they've gone this far. Because we didn't listen. And I know what it's like not to be heard. And, you know, the less you're heard, the louder you become. So if they don't get heard, the louder it's going to get, right? So how do we make it a quiet, peaceful night? Let's let their voices be heard. And let's do something about it. Let's take action to show them that the voices that they are carrying are finally being heard, and that we need to change as a society, as a government, as a police departments across the country need to change the way they assume that just because your skin is different color that you're bad. No assumptions being made, right? And you can say it's not true. You can say, oh, it's just a few bad cops. But you know what? I live in a place where the police department is not the best in the world. and they're and I see it firsthand all the time, and I know the truth. So, and the culture needs to change, and we need to all together as human beings change. And what I mean by that is we need to stop and think about what it must be like to be in someone else's shoes for 5 seconds instead of always thinking about our shoes. Step in another person's shoes for a minute. What would you do if it was your family? What would you do if it was your daughter, your mother, your son? So, and that repeatedly had been bullied and tormented by the system for so long. Would you just take it? What would you do? But I'm going to ask again. To all those people who have been bullied and tortured, we hear you. And I'm going to ask that the government finally listen. And if you don't, then we, all of us in the United States, need to unite together and march Washington and say no more. Sit down your guns, sit down all your police departments who don't want bad cops, sit down your guns. Or arrest your bad cops. Right? I'm asking for this create, don't hate plan. I'm not asking for people to hate. I'm asking for people to love. Love one another so much that you're willing to go, you know what? No more. And that goes for all sides of this argument, all sides of this problem. Please, I'm imploring you to try to take a peaceful stand together against the hate. Because when you fight fire with fire, you just create more fire. So this is Tina at Heal Universal. I'll have some links below for you to see different news stories about what's going on as far as the protests go. Good stories mostly, because I try to keep positive, but I'll throw some in there that you need to see as well. And I want to say God bless you, and if you should need trauma recovery services or anything of that nature, that's what we do here at Heal Universal. And we try to help people deal with stress in times of pressure, and we teach them a new way of thinking so that they can change their realities and stop living in this one. We need to create, not hate. So please, tonight, again, 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be praying and meditating for peace and unity among our people. And God bless you all, because thank you for listening, and thank you for taking the time out. And be safe out there, okay? All of you. And God bless you all. Good night.